And now, you're tuned into Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
Hi, hello, and welcome. This is RBLR Sun. I know the name of our show, I swear. Welcome to anyone who is new. And if you're returning, have a wonderfully sunny day every day by liking, subscribing, leave a comment, leave a review, all those things. Come interact with us. Let us know how you feel about this episode since you've been coming back. And our guest for today, my name is Lizzie Wiederecht. Hi, how are you guys today? This is my guest, Tom Pinto. He is one of the loveliest human beings I've had the pleasure of knowing. I'm gesturing like he's right next to me. He's not.
Stay in frame.
Yeah, in frame, he's next to me. That's right. He is smarter about women's soccer than me in so many ways. It's kind of crazy, actually. And he knows just a lot about sports in general. He's an avid lacrosse fan and wrestling fan. Don't ask me about the specifics of the wrestling or lacrosse, honestly, because I went to my first game this yeyear.
And we won. So.
And yes, we did win. That was a good game. Tom, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Tom. I'm a local Tampa boy all my life. Big soccer fan, grew up playing. Got real deep involved in the scene in Lakeland for a long time. Go Tropics. Lizzie's got the scarf over there. Always been a big fan of trying to get deeper into the lower divisions of it. Really track the grassroots and see what's happening. And it's good to see the future before it happens. You know what I mean? The RBL League, the League Two kind of stuff, UPSL. So that's where I think I have the most fun. So hopefully I can bring some of that here today.
Yes, I have never met anyone who is more invested in lower division soccer than Thomas DePinto here. It's kind of bonkers how much is just crammed into his brain.
Thank you.
Okay, so quick things right off the top that aren't necessarily Sun related, but women's soccer related. Just wanted to touch on because I thought it was very exciting. The U.S. women's national team announced their new roster with Emma Hayes as our coach. Woohoo! I cannot wait. I think we're gonna dominate. I didn't mean to rhyme there, and then I did. Crystal Dunn named as a forward. It's only like we've been asking for that since as long as she's been playing.
As long as she's been for it,
Yeah.
For
realsies.
Yeah, she's awesome. I think she deserves to be up there. I think the greatest in-person goal I've ever seen was Crystal Dunn in the She Believes Cup years ago at Ray J, scoring a banger right to the American Outlaw section, top corner where Grandma keeps the cookies. It was incredible. She deserves the chance to do that more often, I think.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that Emma Hayes, that we have Emma Hayes, and I'm glad that Emma Hayes sees that right off the bat. And it's like, nope, I'm going to move you up. We're going to the Olympics. You're going to kick butt. Awesome sauce. And then other thing of note that I found was that Nair, she's official. I don't know if it was official or not. I didn't know she was out with an injury. If this was already known, I apologize. I'm very behind. But she's out with an injury. So I'm interested to see Casey Murphy, I believe was there. No, not Casey Murphy. Casey Murphy was the other goalie. Oh, and then the other goalie who's starting after her is gone from my brain. Give me 1 second.
Well, it's never a problem for the U.S. We're stacked.
Yeah, we are, but I'm just excited. I forgot who it was, and I was excited for them because they never get to start.
Well, not that excited, obviously.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad.
No, I think that's typically our greatest strength as a team, be it the women's team or the men's team. It's just something we consistently do very well, is produce goalkeepers.
Jane Campbell. Oh my goodness, Jane Campbell.
Yep.
I knew that. She's phenomenal, and she never gets the chance. She was Alyssa Nair when Alyssa Nair was trying to be Hope Solo.
Yeah. Since Hope and them all left, I think we've been sort of in a new era for the women's national team, but not coaching wise. I don't have any hate for Vlatko, but I don't think he was the guy to bring the team into the new era with the new crop of players that we got, the new generation.
Yeah.
He is coming in with fresh eyes. I think she's the one to do it.
Fresh eyes and coming off, a phenomenal victory with Chelsea. She's got that fire already. She's just like, yeah, we're going to go in. We're going to be amazing.
Yeah. You can't downplay that championship mindset. If you know how to win, it's a lot easier to keep winning.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I don't think there's. I don't have any more thoughts about women's national team unless you do.
No, yeah, I love them.
Cool. Oh, I mean, yes, obviously.
That's it.
They are their best. All right. So we did have 2 more players signed since the last episode. We had 3 players then. Very exciting, but we had 2 more. We had Vivianne Bessette.
Yep.
And Riley Mattingly Parker. She's Riley Parker on other websites, but they specifically put Mattingly Parker on the Sun website. So I'm going with that.
I would recommend using and searching Riley Mattingly Parker, the full name.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah. So it looks like we have Vivianne Bessette. She is Canadian from Quebec. She was just rostered for the U20 Women's World Cup. So that's very, very cool. We love that. Also a USF grad. We also love a local.
Yep. Yeah, all conference second team in the AAC.
Yeah.
Last season for USF for senior season. All South third team, which is the whole South, which is a pretty big deal in my opinion. She's super solid. I'm really looking forward to Coach DSB, Denise Schulte Brown, bringing in one of her own girls. And I like Bessette. She was actually called into Bulgarian national team camps before. She's got that heritage.
Oh.
So, yeah. So if any of y'all are Rowdies fans, you remember Mr. George Christoph.
Yeah.
Vivianne Bessette back on the field, we can unleash the Bulgarian again. And I'm excited for that.
Okay, we're gonna see if she likes that name first, though.
I hope she does.
Yeah, I do too.
It's not often you get a Bulgarian.
Yeah, that's true. And then we have Riley Mattingly Parker. She is our first forward. Very exciting. We love our strikers. Yes. She's a Dallas native, and she played for U of Alabama, Roll Tide for
all 4 years.
Yeah, all 4 years, and she had a ton of caps.
Yeah.
It looks like she went to Racing Louisville for a little bit. She didn't have any caps there, and then she kind of got loaned off to Tigres. She only had 8 appearances there. I guess it wasn't a super great fit because she came back. And then now she's coming to us.
I got some problems with the way Louisville utilizes some younger players. I think there's a couple girls that I've watched go up there and sort of fall off, and I don't think it's through any fault of their own. But I think she'll be a better fit here with us, with the coach that wants to utilize her. Announcing her as the first forward, I think that means something more than just, oh, here's another player. Now, she's our first forward, and I think that means something.
Yeah, for sure.
She's whip smart, too. She graduated magna cum laude out of Alabama, which, save your jokes for the Alabama education system. It's still impressive, okay?
Yeah.
Grow up.
Yeah, to do it while being an athlete all 5 years. This is kind of crazy, yeah. Okay, and then we did get our first match day. Woohoo! August 18th versus the Dallas Trinity.
Yep.
Looks like the team teased a party the day before, so that'll be very fun, and we'll definitely try and give some details on that when we have more information. Yep. I'm very excited. We saw a handful of inaugural match dates for all the teams. And they were varying of Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. So that kind of gives us a look into what the schedule is going to be like. It was brought up in the Heatwave Discord that we probably won't be looking at too many Friday games because that would interfere with the football schedule at Blake High School. And one of the Heatwave members pointed out that they definitely want to probably minimize as much interaction with the general public with the high school. So hopefully we will have Saturday and Sunday games. I'm a little bummed they didn't make this a Saturday game, but I guess we also have to do it on a Sunday.
Yeah. Very cute. Very cute.
Yeah. So we do have a bunch of signings around the league. It looks like everyone's making moves. I feel like the only one who has announced anything is Dallas, right?
No. There's 4 teams.
Oh, my bad. I'm a little behind. Let's pull up.
It's very hard for the Super League at this point, where some teams are way ahead of the curve and others are just doing things. We've got our crop of 5. Fort Lauderdale seems to be announcing a player every other day at this rate.
They have been. You're right. Yes, I have been seeing them on Twitter. You're right. We actually we were leading the pack, and now we're a little behind.
Yeah. I think quality-wise, I think we're still ahead. Fort Lauderdale's got a lot of fresh out of college kids. Not to say they're not going to probably be pretty good. They've got their credentials, but they're still rookies. There's only about 1 or 2 players with any pro experience at all joining Fluted, Fort Lauderdale United. And then I think Carolina Ascent is having some good success signing kids out of like Carolina area schools, which they should, obviously, UNC, Duke, whatever. And Spokane, they're cooking, which should be really interesting to see how they do. They've been ambitious in League One. I want to see if it translates to the Super League.
Nice. So did you notice any names of note from the other teams?
It's tough to say. I know Fort Lauderdale, I've been trying to pay attention to them because I want to be more familiar with them than the rest of the league, just because it makes it easier to trash talk them if you know who they are.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of young players, like I said, but good pedigrees. They're doing some things I'd like to see Super League teams do, where they get there's a Bermudian national team player that they signed. There's another player from a smaller CONCACAF nation that they've signed. Addie McCain out of Texas, very good player, just joined, I think, today, actually. So
there's also Mia Corbin. I don't know why her name sounds super familiar.
Yeah, she's solid. I mean, that's, every time I recognize the name, it's like, oh, wow. But it's very much in the wheelhouse that I think we should be aiming for, of like top tier college players, D1 college players who didn't quite get the look, or maybe even like D2 All Stars.
For sure.
All-Stars, you know.
Yeah. Who maybe just need a little more refining, and then they'll get polished and they'll be perfect.
Yeah, just that coach's trust can go a long way.
Yeah. Yeah, and they know that they're gonna have some good coaches, especially over here on the Sun with Coach Brown. Woohoo!
Yeah. Schulte Brown.
Yeah, Schulte Brown. Does she go by the full name? I'm sorry.
I think so. It's double barreled. She's got the shotgun.
Okay. I feel like I haven't actually heard her name said in person.
Yeah. I call her DSB. It's just easier for me.
DSB.
Yep.
Okay. I feel like she would like that.
I hope so, because I'm gonna.
Cool. All right. So, Tom, the reason we brought you here today, your extensive and quite frankly a little bit scary knowledge of how of local soccer players. Yeah, that's
like I alluded to. Love the lower divisions. It's how you see things before it happens.
Yeah.
So I if you want to get into it, I got a little list about 18 or so kids that
just a little list of 18.
Yeah, just most of my work day yesterday. Yeah. I got some folks that I think would be reasonable to see join Sun, and would be, well, some that I think would be reasonable, and some that I think would make sense and would be really cool. So we can get right into it. Kind of at the I got them tiered.
All right, love it. Let's do it.
Tier 1 here. We got some players that I would not expect us to sign, but I would not be surprised. I've looked at them for a reason. The first one I want to shout out is maybe my favorite women's player rocking right now, Nigerian national team Uchenna Kanu. She went to Southeastern University out in Lakeland, scored an absurd amount of goals, averaged like 3 or 4 goals a game. It's an NAIA school, so a lower level, but you do that in any competition. It's impressive. She scored a national team goal for the Super Eagles against the USA. She's super solid. She was at, like I was saying, Racing Louisville last season, barely getting utilized. I thought they were doing her dirty. And then she comes out and she's got appearances in 8 of 9 Louisville's games and 4 goals. So she went from being like, oh, Sun needs to sign her, to never mind, Louisville figured out how good she is. So
Dang it.
Still an outside chance, but probably not anymore. They got something good up there.
Yeah.
So another player, way outside shot, Christiane Endler. She is possibly like one of the best goalies in the world right now. Getting up there, 32 years old. I say that as a 33-year-old man. So like, oh yeah, getting up there. But she is super solid. Kills it for the Chilean national team, just retired after like a solid 6-7 year career. She had a 3-year contract with Olympic Lyon. that just is ending now, but they also just won the league. So I would imagine she would probably want to stay and hang out in France.
Yeah, she
But
might
again,
stay there for a minute.
USF alum is where the connection is. So maybe she wants to see how Denise is doing. You don't know. But again, we do need a goalie, and why not just get the most accomplished Chilean goalie of all time? You know,
I mean, just cut to the chase, obviously.
A couple others real quick. Maggie Doherty-Howard. She's a Largo native, Tampa Bay United player. Super solid. Played for the Gators up in Gainesville, but she's been killing it for Angel City lately. So unless something happens in the offseason next year, I think she's setting on the WSL. And then way outside, maybe depth, but I got to mention her, my girl Grace Linton. She's a assistant coach for Florida Southern out in Lakeland. Was Premier Arena Soccer League national third team, and she's playing for Swansea in the USLW League. Moved her family down here from Wichita, to join Florida Southern. So she's serious about it, but I don't know if she wants to get that much more serious about it and take the leave to play professionally. But another local now solid player. So those are some it'd be cool to see type players, and we can kind of get into some maybe more likely. I got another USF grad. It's a lot of USF grads. I'm thinking I'd love to see. It's a strong program. I'd love to see Denise really drill in and call up her the flip through the fucking Rolodex or something. Can I curse? Flip through the Rolodex.
I think you can,
yeah. I'm gonna. So and
yes, producer says yes.
Cool. Flip through that Rolodex and see who she can get. Okay, I'll make him count. You got it. Yeah. But Trudy Carter, she's a good solid attacking midfielder out of Jamaica, national team caps. But and again, the Liga MX season just sort of ending, so she may become available. But she was scoring basically at will down there for Atletico San Luis. So I'd like to see some of those kind of bigger names or even fringe bench players coming out of Mexico, because I'd like to see us think about competing with Mexico in the international transfer market. You know, we are one league, so let's act like it.
Yeah.
And I think especially with the ownership we got, I think we can act like it more than a lot of other teams would. We're about that.
Yeah.
Kiara Hahn, a young recent USF grad. She's German and she went back home. She's playing for Werder Bremen. But given that she just graduated and now we got this new opportunity for her, maybe she wants to come back to Tampa Bay. It's a lot nicer than Bremen, in my opinion. Never been. Sorry if you're from Bremen. But I really like her. Her last name is German for chicken, and that's funny to me. We got Olivia Chance, would be huge, I think. She's a New Zealand national team, on the regular. Just left Celtic in August. Had a great season there. They're, obviously Celtic, one of the greatest teams in Europe and Scotland. So, but she just had a baby. I don't know if she wants to take the baby out of New Zealand and do the whole thing, or maybe she does. Maybe it's the perfect time to uproot a baby. He doesn't know any better. It's got no friends. Sorry if you're a baby, but you got no friends.
We're gonna give it culture. Well, not really, because they're taking it to America. Never mind.
Yeah, American culture.
Yeah.
Hey, it's New Zealand. What do they got? And again, sorry if you're New Zealand. I'm not making any friends on this show, I think.
Don't they have the Lord of the Rings?
I don't know.
Isn't that where that was filmed?
Yes. They got Lord of the Rings. But
they have Lord of the Rings.
So they, as much as a baby and an orc, I think would get along.
Okay.
I don't think it's happening. All right, we got Isabel Aguilar. This is a miner's pick, getting down there with the pickaxe and looking for stuff. She's a recent graduate of Montreat University, an AIA school. She left as like a school leader and you name it, basically offensively. She's on the roster for Swan City. She'll shoot from 60 yards out. She doesn't care. She's out there having fun. So that's the kind of player I'd like to take a chance on. Like Uchenna Kanu scored at will in an AIA. It's a good place to find players. I want us to look at these lower divisions of colleges.
Yeah, I agree. There's got to be tons of just unpicked talent that's just sitting there waiting for promotion
Yeah, yeah,
for a professional contract.
and it's so easy just to look at the crop of who got drafted in NWSL and didn't sign, or who was a
Yeah.
good D1 player and didn't sign anywhere. But like, you're selling yourself short as a team. Denise, if you're watching, you're selling yourself short as a team if you're not looking at these NAIA D2 kids because they got some ballers. Taylor Duffy, another one, hilarious name, Taylor. But again, she's a graduate assistant right now at Southeastern University, playing for Swan City, out of Northampton, England. Describes herself as a soccer addict.
Okay.
If she wasn't did we have open tryouts?
There tomorrow.
If she's not there tomorrow, I'd be surprised. Let's put it that way. Again, fringe player, but you got to take some chances as a baby league. So maybe. Katrina Salazar, again, Largo native. She coaches locally, Berkeley Prep, Clearwater Chargers. So she's involved. She's smart. She knows the game. Forward, midfielder, can play a lot of places. But it's not. I don't know if she wants to add professional playing onto the menu there. We can keep rocking. I got Demi Stokes. If you follow the English women's system at all, you are like going, Demi Stokes, no way. But she is insane. 69 English caps, 113 appearances for Man City. Just left Man City on the 18th of this month. This is the 24th we're recording this. So like a week ago, less than a week ago. And she's a free agent. She follows Tampa Bay Sun FC on Instagram.
Yes.
Not just because she's
this is something we are checking, everyone. Yep. Trust me. This is the best way to find out.
It may or not mean anything, but maybe it means something. So that'd be massive. That would put the league on notice if we could bring her out here.
Yeah. And I think we're gonna need like at least I hate to say at least one on every team, at least one kind of big signing. Like I hate to say it that you need it, but it's the way you get noticed. It's the way you get people in seats is to be like, oh yeah, no, I know that name. I want to see them play.
Yeah, it's
one or even. And you know what people would do with the NWSL too? They would time, or I would at least time what Orlando Pride games I would want to go to, also based on who they were playing, like who else I wanted to see play. Yeah. So I'm hoping that'll also be a really big draw to get people to come to games to be like, oh yeah, no, I want to see Spokane play because they've got, blah, blah, blah. For sure. We got to go to that game.
Yeah. It's the Messi effect. It's real,
Yeah.
And it's one thing to just say, oh, we've got a women's professional soccer team. That's awesome. I love that. But if you got somebody you can put on the posters, you can put on the billboard, that does a lot more for your team. You can sing their praises. And Demi Stokes would absolutely be that. She bombing down the left wing would be insane for us. So maybe. Keep going here. I got a couple more. We're making good time. I'm trying not to get hung up on too much here. I got, and we're getting into the good stuff too. These are I got Andrea Hochstar, the Icelandic USF grad.
Okay.
Again, playing down in Mexico. This is kind of where I want to see us look. If you didn't cut in NWSL, I think you got a lot of eyes on you. I think the other teams are looking at you. I want us to kind of cast that wider net. If you just left Mexico, I want you to be catching the flight to Tampa. Because she just left Mazatlan. She was at Club America for a season. Fans loved her down there, as far as I can tell. She's playing right now for an Icelandic team, which is, that's her home. But I also feel like historically Iceland has kind of been a quick stop for a lot of women's players because they do have a pretty robust women's scene. So I think maybe she stays fresh up there and then says, why not come back and play D1 in America? I think she'd be solid. And again, follows the Super League, follows Tampa Bay Sun, very aware of us. Mm-hmm. Maybe it does something.
And I feel like it says something too when it's these players that are not necessarily Florida natives, who are following us. Like that's got to mean something. Like How else are you gonna find the sun? Like, okay, you went to USF, but like, granted, that was a couple of years ago, or that was, however many years ago. Did you keep in touch with someone at St. Pete? Is there a reason that you want to keep in tabs on Tampa Bay?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a good place to play. Not everybody I'm talking about, not everybody follows the Sun, so like you gotta give some credence to the ones that do. I think it's something.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Again, Carolina Lucci. Talk about D2. Went to Chowan up in the Carolinas. I want to steal her from your true test. Do they follow Rebler's Sun?
Yes, that is true. The true test. Do they follow the RBLR Sun FC? Well, they should. And you should too.
There you go. Very professional, Lizzie.
Yeah.
If you want to be like Andrea Hawksdaughter, following the right accounts, there's one account you should be following right now, and it's down here.
It's Jelly Goblin.
Yeah, no, is that over here? Oh,
no,
I got my screen to
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I was promoting myself.
Yeah.
Don't follow me. It's rough. Okay. Carolina Lucci, D2. I got distracted briefly, but again, I'm talking about these D2 players for a reason. They know what they're doing. She's not a Florida girl. She's from Monica, Pennsylvania. I think it's near Pittsburgh, but she played out of Chowan. I hope we get her before Carolina gets their hands on her, because she scored 19 goals for Chowan, which is a D2 record.
Okay.
And she scored 19, it's the record, but it doesn't sound like a lot. She's got 42 points for the D2 points record too. She can score, she can dish it, she can do it all. So I want us to notice that before Carolina says, hey, we got a D2 player right here in our area.
I like a Swiss Army knife player. Excellent.
Yeah. And again, I think those D2 and AIA players, they got something to prove when they go pro. They want it more, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like we like these players with the, even the quote unquote like smaller records, but still it's a record and it's significant.
Yeah, nobody's ever done it. So that's again something. My next player is something she caught a lot of hype recently. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? Goalkeeper, Kaylin Marchese, St. Pete native. We love that.
Yeah.
Just mutually parted ways, or at least whatever, by Arsenal. On the
she's rehabbing an injury, so that's something to consider. But she does follow the Sun and the Rowdies, and I think St. Pete FC. She follows some local Tampa Bay accounts too. Granted, this is her hometown, so that could be part of it. But still, you never know. She followed what was it like the one that Issa works for? I feel terrible. I shouldn't mention things if I don't know what they are. That's so Tampa. Thank you very much, producer. I love our producer.
So good at this.
Yes.
Walking us through it, holding our hands up like that.
Yep.
But yeah, no, she would be incredible. And again, it's not unlike Tampa Bay soccer teams to sign a player who's injured and just hope they get better and time to play. Shout out Rowdies.
Yeah, no, we've never done that.
Yeah. So be huge. And I'm sure she'd love to come back home, My next player, I almost want to save for last because I'm super stoked about her career in general, even if it's not with us. Sydney Martinez, the young Puerto Rican goalie who sort of went viral with her penalty save against Brazil in the Women's Gold Cup. Puerto Rico ended up losing 1-0 against Brazil, and it's because of her. She balled out. She's a USF grad. She's insane. She played for Norway, not for Norway, but in Norway last year. IK Grand Bodo, I want to say. Their roster's not up for 2024. So she could be on it. She could not. But as far as I'm concerned, she's a well-known North American player who I think should capitalize on her success. And I think connecting with the Puerto Rican community here is something we should think about. And by signing their national team goalkeeper, what better way than signaling that we're here for them, So
yeah, absolutely.
She's one I would be upset if we didn't sign. So we'll see.
Okay, well, we're sending that message out. If you don't sign Sydney Martinez' son, Tom DePinto will be very upset with you, and you will have to live with that.
Yep. And then I got 4 more. Let's get through it. Peyton She's got Welsh national team experience. It's kind of wild. Also from Wichita. I mentioned another Wichita kid earlier, which is weird. But she just graduated from USF. She's a solid player. I think Denise would do well by keeping her recent grads in her orbit, Especially
and I'm sure that she's considering them.
Yeah. I'm sure there's players we don't know about. So. Peyton Vince, welcome to Sign FC.
Yeah, they told me that they've been talking to players as long as they can. They just couldn't offer them contracts for a little bit because of legal things, which totally makes sense. But they've been scouting forever. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we announced, so I'm really hoping we get some of my players in the next week.
We had to stop to give the other teams some time to announce players. Like I understand.
Yeah, we were embarrassing everybody.
We're so ahead of the game.
Yeah, it's good to be excited, but let's make it interesting for everybody else at least, Yeah. Give them a chance.
Yeah.
One more, Asia Cobb. She's from Plantation down near Miami, but she's playing for TBU. She just graduated Syracuse. Why is she hanging out in Tampa? Why is she hanging out in Tampa? Something to think about. Because she's going to sign for the Sun.
Oh, I hope so.
Maybe. I hope. Really
I want us to go so hard this first season and just wreck the league.
Yeah, it looks like we're doing it. I don't want to say Fort Lauderdale looks like trash because they're only signing rookies because the rest of our team could be rookies. Yeah. We don't know what the player pool for our league is, and I think that's what makes it really exciting, is we have no idea what we're dealing with yet. We're D1, but what does that really mean when there's two competing D1 leagues?
Yeah.
So maybe we get some of these players that got drafted and didn't get signed, didn't get drafted and should have, Asia Cobb. But who knows, And then real quick, two more players who I had a 1 to 5 tier system of how badly I want them to sign and how likely I thought it would be. And these two players are on 6s, which means announce them today. There's no reason. I got Madison Cox, local legend as far as I'm concerned. First player ever signed by, God forgive me, the Tampa Bay Strikers of the National Indoor Soccer League. Can't stand them, can't stand the league. The league's dead. That's a win for me as far as I'm concerned. But Madison Cox and the rest of that team, hats off to them. They were incredible. They were the best women's team in the league while it existed.
And friend of the pod, Madison Cox. She's been on before.
Yes.
Not this one, but a different one. But yes, it's exciting.
So I'm gassing her up. I think she deserves to be on the team. She's, again, Puerto Rican national teamer, currentently playing for TBU, played for TBU for, I think, the past 2-3 years. She's a shoo-in. She's absolutely a shoo-in, and she would go a long way to connecting with people because she's a good person.
Yeah, and I do love that she's such a Tampa native. I talked to someone who said that their favorite player is already all my brains are gone today. Who was Bradenton? Is it Erica?
Tim Rack.
It's Erica. Okay, I knew. I was right. I knew. Yep. I knew. I was doubting myself. Why did I doubt myself? I knew.
You met her. You love Erica Timrack. She's your best friend.
No, I know. Oh, they're so nice. They're so nice. Yeah. And they were so excited to get their little bracelets. It was so cute.
You did something good there. You did something really good there.
Yeah. And then Jordan kept finding me every time there was a little girl who wanted a bracelet. It was really cute.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Last player. We did it. Yes. We got through it.
Yes.
No, there's one more. And again, if we don't sign this player, I don't know what we're doing. Bree Blethen, 26-year-old defender out of Bradenton, went to Manatee High School, on the TBU roster, still playing, still about it, wants to do this. She USF grad. She was on the 2019 Florida Tropics women's team roster back when we had that. So I've seen her play before. She follows the Sun. She follows every team in the Super League. She follows the Super League. She follows Josie Brown. If they're not actively talking in WhatsApp or text messages right now, then I'd be super surprised. But she's a dog. She wants this, I think. I haven't talked to her. I don't know her. But man, she wants to play just from looking at her. So if we don't get Maddie Cox and Bree Blethen on this team right now, and get some serious local legend power, then we're not a real local team.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
for sure. We do need a couple more homegrowns, even if, whether or not they're from here, or they played for TBU, or they went to USF, something like that.
Yeah.
I really hope a good portion of the team is some kind of homegrown.
Yep. And Erica Timrack, again, UF Gators Athletics Hall of Famer. So, Gainesville doesn't have anything. So if it's UF, if it's FSU, multiple-time national women's champions, if it's USF, we don't need any UCF players, in my opinion. That's fine. They can go to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, whatever. But I think we got to capitalize on the fact that we are in such a hotbed. We're not Spokane. No, again, if you're from Spokane, sorry. But what, you got Gonzaga? That's it? We got so much more than you guys. So I know I'm putting a lot of people on blast here today, but we got to capitalize on that.
Coming in with the hot takes.
Hey, I'm feeling froggy. It's Friday night. It's a long weekend. You know what I mean?
I see that.
So there we go. That's my list. If 3 of those players sign, everybody watching this owes me a beer, I think. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay. I don't know how we're possibly going to hold them to that, but I will buy you a beer at least.
At least you. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I touched on earlier a little bit about how I'm trying to keep track of what some other teams are doing, more concerned with Fort Lauderdale because I want to hate them more effectively. And they're going young so far. I think 2 players with pro experience, which will be interesting to see. But they are doing some things I really like. They've gotten a player, Levena Vaca. Say that. Lizzie, say that.
Leveni Vaca?
Leveni.
That's what it looks like to me.
Leveni Vaca.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's a Tongan national team player.
Okay.
And look, if you're on a national team, I don't care who it is.
It's impressive.
You're a baller.
Yep.
So she's from Tonga. She played for BYU. Got almost hit the century mark with Cougars. And I think that's something to look out for. I think they're doing their due diligence, Like, I'm not sure what the connection there is. It's got to be some kind of coach who knows something about Oceania or something about Utah or something, because that's a deep cut, and I'm impressed. Along those same lines, I've got another player, Nia Christopher. Again, young, 22 years old, a forward, Bermudian national teamer. So they're hitting these deep marks, as well as scraping kind of the top level of D1 that didn't go NWSL. And I don't know at this point, what's the composition of the league? What's the composition of the Sun versus everybody else? Fort Lauderdale versus everybody else. So I don't know if this strategy is going to work out for them, but I do kind of like what they're doing by getting some really high-quality D1 players and supplementing it with some – I mean, these 2 players I just mentioned, Nia Christopher, Leveni Vaca, solid D1 players too, but supplementing that additional international experience can go a long way towards kind of establishing themselves as a young leader on a young team.
Yeah.
So I think it's something to look out for. I think they'll be competitive, if anything, but I want to say we're going to beat them 5-0 every time we play them, because that's the way it looks to you still.
No, you're right. Like the international appearances really do make a difference. Just getting those minutes on the field, I can't think of the words all of a sudden, getting to play different kinds of players.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a much more eloquent way of saying that. But you're right. Then they're not just picking, like, oh, they were really good in college, the end.
Yeah.
You're right. They're going that little bit deeper and be like, okay, they were really good in college, and they're on the Bermuda national team with a decent amount of appearances versus goals.
Yeah. It's something to look at that I think all teams at our level, we want to be that D1 team where we want to be pulling players like Erica Timrack, where but we want to also be doing the due diligence of making sure that and it's a tougher look, I think, for coaches at this level than NWSL. There's a bigger support system there because it's established. Players want to go to the NWSL. Here, you got to establish the league first and let people know.
You do kind of have to sell them a little bit and be like, no, just trust me.
Exactly.
Just trust me. It's going to work. It's going to work.
We got to go in on this together. You with me or you not? And if we get, and I think the way Denise conducts her USF team, I think she's going to get a lot of people who are in on the program, buying into it. Oh, big stretch. Oh, you coming down here? Sorry, this is my co-host. Let me turn the camera a little bit. No, he's leaving. Okay.
Oh no, he's like, no, I'm done now.
He knows what's going on.
Yeah, he was art for the show for a while, and then he was like, I'm done now.
Yeah,
I'm tired.
But yeah, she's a great culture coach, Denise. She really established something impressive out in Temple Terrace with the Bulls, and I think she can put her mark at Riverfront Stadium, baby. That's what we're calling it now. It's not Blake High School Stadium. That sounds so unprofessional. It's Riverfront.
Yeah.
We're going down to the riverfront, have a good time, drink a couple beers, watch some ball. That's what I like to do. Oh no, okay.
I can't wait to watch balls go into the river because you know that's gonna happen.
So gonna happen.
It's definitely gonna happen. It's gonna be very funny.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, I hope then we build a culture of people watching from the river to catch the soccer balls, maybe.
Yeah, the little water taxis, people chilling on Armature Works. That's right. You can see the field from like what is it? The river walk right there.
I think so. Yeah.
I did the walk the other 2-3 weeks ago. There's construction going on, so I don't know. Do we know? Are we putting in turf or what's the deal with our field?
I feel like it was turf when I went.
Because it was almost certainly turf before.
I doubt they'd be changing it from turf to grass.
But it's football lines. It's a high school field, and the football lines on high school field on turf come like straight on.
That's a good question. These are important questions. I feel like their practice field was definitely turf.
Okay.
I don't know if that says anything.
I don't know.
I'm 90% sure though I saw. Okay, yeah. Oh, yep. Renovations include new fan zones, upgraded locker rooms, additional seating, and a new state-of-the-art scoreboard and FIFA-approved turf.
Okay, that's interesting. I would hope then that we don't do the multi-line thing where we got the football lines. We got Blake doesn't have.
Oh yeah, where it looks like crazy. Yeah.
So I hope it's something that can come up and off or something like that. Because it would add a lot to experience, and I think for all the professional work that the Sun front office has done, to have football lines would kind of be a disservice to how professional the team has handled itself.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. That's a good point, honestly.
Yeah, it's something I've been low key like concerned about. Like, I watch UPSL. I'm not above watching, field hockey, lacrosse, football, soccer lines all at the same time, but I'd like it to look clean if we can do that.
Yeah, if the NWSL can do it, we should be able to do it too if we're D1.
Yeah, we're D1, absolutely, and that's a good attitude to have. We're D1. Fuck it.
Yeah. Okay. Any other players that you wanted to cover for Fort Lauderdale United? I keep calling them fluted. They're just fluted now in my head.
Fluted. No, I just want to say I'm impressed with what they're doing. That there is one player in particular I want to shout out down in Fort Lauderdale, Felicia Knox, a forward. She's a rookie out of Alabama. She played 2 or 3 seasons. That means with Riley Mattingly Parker. So I think it would be really interesting to see, Sun starting a Bama forward, Fort Lauderdale starting a Bama forward, because there's going to be that edge where they want to outperform each other.
And that brings up a good point. It's going to be interesting to see not only just the rivalries that come out of just like teams being near each other versus just maybe the rivalries we don't necessarily know about, where it's just like, oh, well, those are, that's I played with them in college,
Yeah. Or against them.
We're going to have a lot of those, I feel like.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing that's going to really make Super League more exciting than the NWSL is that these players, look, it's D1. They know they're D1, but they also know they got passed up by NWSL. I think everyone in this league is going to have a chip on their shoulder. They've got something to prove. Maybe some of it might use it as a stepping stool to get into NWSL, but I think some players are going to want to say, look, if you didn't want me before, I'm going to show you made a mistake.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's something we get a lot of. There's a lot of players with edge. I don't mind if we come out that first weekend, August 17th, 18th, and we just see games stacked with cards, because that means they give a damn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see that out of this league.
Going hard right off the bat. I love it.
Yeah. So that's about where I'm at. I kind of wanted to look into some of the other teams. Carolina's, like I said before, I think they're doing some good things, picking up some Carolina players, and they should, because that's a hotbed. Spokane's been aggressive. They've been fairly creative with who they've signed, because they have to be where they are. Only West Coast team, I think, right? Yep. So it's
because they had to have one West Coast team to be one.
Literally. But they've done some really good things in League One. They've built themselves that new stadium that they share with the school system, just like we're doing, which I think is a good model to follow.
Absolutely. No, investing in the community is important, and I think it's a good way to show that we are grassroots and like they want to be, and they're pulling from local they're pulling, local players, they're putting into the local community. They're not just taking.
Yeah, we're not doing a Ray J where we're saying, all right, well, here's a tax you're gonna have to pay for the next 10 years for our stadium, even though our millionaire owner could buy it in a heartbeat. We're actually investing in, we're not going to be at Riverfront Stadium for the length of the team. We're going to be there, 2-3 years, and then Lake High School is going to have a beautiful stadium.
Yes.
So we're handling things the right way, and I love to see it out of this team. It really means something, and it shows the commitment to the community, I think.
Yeah, I like that we're doing it the right way right off the bat. There's no like, oh, we got to backtrack, we got to fix some things, we got to do better.
Yeah, no ground. We could have been content to just ground share with USF over at Corbett. It's a nice stadium. It's kind of up there in Temple Terrace, but it's nice. It's got good facilities, but we want to do that more. We're renovating it. Fan zones, upgraded locker rooms, FIFA turf. So it's something that's going to help not just us, but also Blake High School, and that's super cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that was everything we wanted to cover for today. Tom, it looks like we can plug you over at @jelly_goblin. Go follow him on Twitter. He has a lot of funny things that he says throughout the day. Some of them are kind of weird, though. But we love him, and he does a lot of fun. He retweets a lot of soccer stuff, right? Lacrosse. Yeah,
a lot of lacrosse stuff. I'm big.
A lot of lacrosse. He's a big lacrosse man. And you can come follow. Say hit my mic.
Oh, careful. We can plug the Discords too, real quick. We got obviously the Heat Wave Discord.
Yes, absolutely. The Heat Wave Discord. Wait, was this? I had to remember. It's the Heatwave _ because that's the only way the name wasn't taken. Yep. Please go ahead, find us on Twitter, and we should have a link to the Discord in there. If not, shoot us a message and we can link you. But make sure, again, if you want to have a Sunday day every day, you want to like and subscribe that RBLR Sun FC over on the YouTube, the Twitters, the Instagrams, the TikTokies, all of them.
Facebook, MySpace. We're on.
Yeah.
Yep.
What other ones are we naming? Zanga. I don't know.
Zanga. Oh.
Throwing it way back.
Yeah. Hippopotamus.
Tumblr. Yeah. Netflix.
We're working on that deal.
Oh, we are on Threads, though. No joke.
There we go. Yeah.
Yes. We are also on Threads. That's trying to be Twitter, I think. I don't know. I have to figure that out. It's a weird app. But make sure you follow us so that you can stay up to date on all Sun news. We are retweeting a lot of stuff on Twitter. That is the best place to get news that is accurate and up to date. So for sure, go ahead and follow us there. That about wraps it up for today. Thank you so much for listening, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.